Okay. Test, 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 test. Okay, cool. Okay. Cool. So now we have sound. I'm sorry, guys. Some technical issue. So let me know in the comments if everything is okay dokie with you guys now, if you can hear me or not. Kind of curious about that. Thanks for the update, Royston. I appreciate that. Got a coffee here in case you guys are wondering. And we are live now, so I want to have a discussion with you guys, and it can be a little bit a lengthy one because I just really want to delve into why you guys like one brand or another. And I picked the most iconical, biggest brands out there, both Saberforge and Ultrasabers, because it seems like their popularity is just still unparalleled with a lot of other companies. If it's justified or not, that's what we're gonna discuss here with you guys. So I really want to know from you guys.
Hey guys,
bye. Okay, go sleep, huh? What you guys ideas and reasoning are behind buying one brand or another. We got a comments account says hello. Well, nice to meet you. So I got the two websites in front of me. And I got the chat here on the side, so you guys can also see what's going on, because otherwise it becomes a little bit too hard. So I got here Ultrasabers and Saberforge, so we can go over the lightsabers they have, or about the many different hilt designs, and why you like one company over the other one. We have here Saberforge sabers, and we can go over the Princeton's line, or Elite sabers, exotic sabers, whatever you guys want to discuss in terms of the lightsabers, and why you think or you prefer Saberforge over Ultrasabers, or vice versa. And some people will say I don't like both, and that's totally fine. Comments account says, do you have any diamond fonts for me? No, I'm sorry. Any sound fonts that you would like to have, you need to purchase from saberfonts.com. Saberfonts.com. Luckily, I don't have any porn in my suggestions here, so I'm kind of lucky. Because I didn't check that beforehand. You know how it goes, guys. Let me see. Saberfont. Okay, so Saberfont. Cool. So here's where you can buy your own saber fonts, but that's not the topic of today. We're talking about talking about Ultrasabers versus Saberforge. Yeah, you can see the comments here as well, so everybody can see the comments live. I thought it was a little fun way of having these conversations, and sometimes I toggle back here to see how many people are watching, so I can keep a track on it. So now I got these two websites in front of me, and I initially was really heavily on the Saberforge camp myself. I was like, wow, I want this saber, this saber, this saber. And it went on and on and on, and I liked so many of the designs, and I started buying them and doing the reviews on them. And then more often than not, I had some minor issues with them, and they're mainly the issues coming from a design perspective. How are the lightsabers constructed? How are the individual parts coming together? For example, a good example would be the Saberforge Bane. Like, it has two casted health halves that are bolted together by screws. So you have screws underneath here that bolt one half of the casted rib case, as you can see here, to the other side, and then you have this bottom part here. So you have a lot of individual parts that are needed to be fitted together. So you need to have a company that can do that really well, that can basically overcome all these design flaws. Like, for example, I have this amazing dart sight here from Kaizen sabers. Now, for example, we can see that in a full review later, is you have several parts here that need to come together to become a solid hilt that can do whatever you advertise it for. So if you advertise a hilt as a heavy dueling saber, you need to make sure that all the parts are fitting really snug together and stay together during that heavy abuse. And I found that Saberforge did not really messed up quite a bit for me in a lot of times, and over time I just became a little bit worried by the brands, etc., by the designs of Saberforge sabers. That now actually my mind is changing a little bit more to Ultrasabers, and to be honest, most of the designs don't really appeal to me. They feel really generic. In terms of hilt designs and whatnot. Like for example, this Aeon that I reviewed, it's a very simplistic hilt design. There's really literally not much to it. This is a really classic example. It's either a hilt that you get in black, silver, or black and silver. That is as far as Ultrasabers go. You have some rips, you have some shallow window emitters. It looks like a flashlight. There's really not much of imagination to them. There's not much to them. But the flip side is they are rock solid. This is a one-piece hilt. A one-piece hilt that is rock solid. You can beat it over. It has a nice thick wall of material. These are actually really well-made hilts for the price. There's no sharp edges on them. They're perfectly for dueling as beaters and whatnot. But I like my sabers to be lookers. I want pretty looking sabers. So that's why my main focus was on Saberforge. But the more I have them, the more I feel personally that the designs of these lightsabers are not perfect. But for somebody else, it's of course a different opinion, of course. Now I got some comments here as well. So Royston says I own and use both. I find Saberforge relatively well priced for the amount of detailing you get. So I use the more basic plain hilts for dueling. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So one thing that I have to say for both Saberforge and Ultrasabers, although I'm not really happy with the designs of Ultrasabers, but as I said, they're very durable. They're basically made for purpose, for heavy dueling, for example. They're solid hilts, one piece, and the Saberforge hilts are looking quite good in my opinion as well. They're fantastic looking sabers, and the price is not too bad, like $150 for an empty XL hilt. And if you just look beyond the Saberforge hate, then there's no denial that Saberforge has so many different designs, like unique exotic designs. They're not afraid to invest in weird designs and put them on the market, and they are willing to take a risk financially to have a hit or miss. So for example, there's so many sabers that I really like by looks of it here. How many Chatin lightsabers are on the market from different saber companies? I think there's only like 3 or 4 different saber companies making this particular hilt, and this is the only one from Saberforge that is really affordable. Now in this case you can say, wow, $200 for an empty hilt, but relatively seen for this particular hilt design, that's not too bad. It's not a bad price. So I do agree with Royston. From that standpoint, I still think Saberforge has a very broad offering, which is really not bad for that price range. Got some more replies. Crushmax said, but Ultrasabers model sucks. Yeah, well, I do agree. If I just look from a visual standpoint, there's very little sabers that I really say, wow, I need to have this. For example, this is a particular hilt design that's really offsetting for me. If I see this, I think this has nothing to do with Star Wars. This comes from a fair, or yeah, like a prize that you can win in a fair. It's like anodized silver, colorful. It looks like it's a part that belongs on a Japanese racing car or something. It doesn't feel like it's anything from Star Wars, personally. But they're very solid. They're perfectly for dueling, and they last you a really long time without having all kinds of greeblies falling off or misaligning parts. parts that just break off or super sharp. None of that is on the Ultrasaber saber. But yeah, I have to say, in majority, the sabers are not appealing to me as much as I have with Saberforge. But I do agree that there's a lot of people actually that are in the camp of, they basically say, I love the simplicity of the hilts. They don't like all the greeblies, they don't like all the mess. They just want to have a simple hilt. And then I look, for example, myself at this hilt, and I agree with them. This is one of the hilts that I actually like from Ultrasabers. I don't know why, but I like the simplicity of this hilt. I actually really like it, and I've seen versions of it by people that have weathered it, and it just looks amazing to me. It really looks cool. I like that the cover tech wheel is also quite high up, so it's really like the prequel movie esque type of style where you have your hilt high up the belt. That's really cool. Another good example which saber that I also like is also, again, it's quite simple but I really like it, is the Raven, I believe. Yeah, the Raven here. I don't know why, but I really like it. I like this these ripped here in the middle section. I like the claws of it. I like the slanted narrow claws. They're gripping the blade almost. It has a certain appeal to me. Then we have some more comments for you guys. Have you seen the new Broadguard? Actually, I made a video about it. Yeah, I did see it, and I'm kind of interested in it to try it out myself. Anyone have any diamond sound fonts? I don't think you should be asking for free sound fonts in this chat or on any of the Facebook groups, because you need to pay for it. As I said, you need to go to saberfont.com and get your own sound fonts. That is the best way to do it. Royston says, have they improved the two-part hilt toe and fixed the issues? I have installed a couple of Vanquish and they were pretty good, no gap issues. They might have, yeah, I think both Saberforge and Ultrasabers are actively improving their products, so I think they nailing down their manufacturing processes, so I think that has to contribute. A lot of these hilts that you, for example, see from Saberforge here are being converted in the ASP line. Not all of them. I found it, actually, to be honest, I find it a little bit slower than I expected. I was hoping a lot more sabers would be fully ASP by now. I don't like ASP, to be honest, but I would expect Saberforge had more hurry behind it, but it doesn't seem to be. But if I look at this website, for example, from Saberforge, I have so many lightsabers that I immediately pick off and say, wow, I want this saber, I want this saber, I want that saber. That is so good. That is a certain appeal that Saberforge has. They really suck you into these lightsabers, and I like the fact they have apprentice hilts, which are very affordable, slimmed down hilts, basically. And all of them I like. They look very good. They're really good for playing. They're affordable. Again, Saberforge does a really good job with the hilt designs. Question Max says, no sharp edges. Ha! The Bellicus shroud is sharp. I didn't have that one yet, so I will do a review on that saber at some point or another, and we'll have to check it out myself. But yeah, I think, but in majority Ultrasabers, you can say what you want, but in general, there's almost no sharp edges on those hilts. Almost none. They're all smooth out, in my personal opinion. Comments account said, Rebelchumps, the perfect combo is the not limited electronics of Ultrasabers, compared to the champion tier of Saberforge. Not sure if I understand what you mean. Royston is saying, I've got the Raven, it's a beast, it's huge. Yeah, that is one thing that I also had with the Saberforge, what is it, Saberforge Juggernaut. Once you get like a really huge ass saber, it has some appeal as well. Like it's like a saber from a giant. It has something to it. It makes it really menacing. And since I had the Juggernaut, I revised my initial statements that I just didn't like any big hilts, because there's definitely a big appeal to them. literally pun intended, and that's also something that a lot of people drawn into, and that's why they like Ultrasabers so much, because Ultrasabers has a big offering of big lightsabers, like pretty massive lightsabers, and that's something that a lot of people feel attracted to. So we got Ajani joining in. Hey, what's up, dudes? How you doing? Thanks for joining in. Comments account said, Rebelchumps, where are you from? I'm from Holland. Maybe you could hear it from my accent. But I live in Hong Kong for the past 7 or 8 years now. So yeah, a little bit of everything. Got some whole bunch more comments coming up now. So Ajani says, my favorite saber from Ultrasabers is Dark Apprentice with the Dark Apprentice V4 with windowed emitter. So that would be Dark Apprentice. Let me see if I because I always mix up the Ultrasaber sabers. To be honest, I'm sorry for that. Ultrasabers Dark Apprentice. Dark Apprentice. It does ring a bell. Initiate. Where's the Dark Apprentice? Stop. Initiate. Ah, here we go. Okay, cool. Yeah. This is a nice saber. Actually, I just scrolled over one saber which I also really like, and that's actually 2 of them. This one actually. No, is that correct? Is it this one? Yes, this one. I think it's this one. This is one of those hilts that I'm also very curious about. Very simple, but looks very cool. Now I heard that this hilt is actually quite thin. This is compared almost to the thickness of a Vader's fold hilt. So this is one of the Ultrasabers that I want to try out myself. I believe this one cannot house any electronics, but in terms of OD of the thickness of the hilt, that is something that that's really cool. So I hope one day to own it. I heard a lot of positive reviews about this hilt though, so that's really cool. We've got some more comments. We got JC the Blind Jedi. How are you doing? I like the Ultrasabers for practice. I agree their designs are more basic. I wouldn't buy their obsidian boards, but if you want to produce a smash, they're rock solid. Yeah, absolutely. Now one thing I want to go through as well with you guys, and that's why I want to have your feedback. Now for example, if you want to assemble a random lightsaber, so let's say I want to have a lightsaber with sound and flash on clash. Now I choose one of these hilts. Let's choose anything. Let's choose a random hilt. Now let's go for the Manticore. That's a quite popular hilt. Now what I have with Ultrasabers website is quite overwhelming, the amount of options. Let's choose a Saberforge Fury in the one end. So we have a Fury here, and we have a Manticore here, and we're gonna go through the options. We're gonna go for a sound-enabled soundboard, a saber with a soundboard. So we just choose the finish. As you see in the Saberforge, there's quite a bit of finishes nowadays. Like a lot of them, you need to look up somewhere here to find out which finish is what. So that's not really intuitive in my personal opinion if I want to select a saber. So let's say I go for weathered, and then I select a tier. Now it's either empty, warrior, champion, or hero. That's it. 4 options for the electronics. That's it. Very easy, very simple. I like that. So I want to have the champion edition. Then I choose the sound fonts. So sound fonts, and then the blade color, which is important. So in this case, let's say I want to have Arctic blue. Bam, I'm basically done in terms of electronics. Very easy. With Ultrasabers, I feel it's like it's a lot of things you need to do. So first I need to check out. We have so many options here. We have express checkout with stun sabers, empty hilts, sabers with basic sounds, sabers with premium sound, emerald sabers with sound, diamond sabers. Like it's the same amount of options, but the way how it shows here, maybe that's my personal opinion, it feels like a little bit intuitive. So let's go. I want a saber with premium sound. I don't need RGB because that wouldn't be fair against the Saberforge. So we have light, and then we want to have a color. So we have a whole bunch of colors as well. And one thing I hate with Ultrasabers is, as soon as you get in the options menu, there's always like an add-on, like, oh, you want to have Sun Rider's Destiny, that's another $5. Oh, you want to have the Tricree consular green, that's another 15 bucks. So there's a lot of adding some dollars to your build. So this is a 6 watt, so we want something like the Saberforge. So we go for a Tricree. Let's say this Guardian Blue. That's the best thing I could find here. So another 15 bucks. So, okay, we add 15 bucks to this premium soundboard setup, and then we go to the next option. Flash and Clash. Well, Saberforce doesn't have it, so Ultrasabers have it. But again, it's cool they have it. You can really fine-tune your saber bit by bit, and that is, I think, an appeal for a lot of people about Ultrasabers. For me personally, I just want to keep it easy and simple. Like I go to the Apple website, I order an iPad. It's either 32 gigs or 64 gigs. That's what I like. I like simplicity. But I can see the appeal for that. So no, you can choose your Flash and Clash color. That's kind of cool. Let's say no flash. And next, we're not gonna do comparison by the price. That I'll leave that up to you guys. Then the battery setup. Like, what kind of battery? This is already getting like a little bit over my head. I'm like, oh, what kind of, especially if I'm new to the lightsaber community, like to the hobby. Like, I don't know what the hell. Why you need to choose the battery setup and the resistor setup. Like, I think Ultrasabers could simplify that way easier. Saberforge doesn't even have these kind of options. You just get a predefined battery setup with an 18650 battery with a set resistor for set LED color you choose. They arrange that for you. I don't have to bother with it. I don't know why Saberforge Ultrasabers insist me on choosing that. And also with Saberforge you get a battery charger included. If you buy a war tier or champion tier or hero tier, there's a battery charger included. So that's kind of nice. So okay, so now I need to choose what kind of battery setup I have. Jeez, apparently there's a, no, just take the included package here. Recharge port. Do I want to add a recharge port? Now, with the Saberforge champion tier, there's already the recharge port included. Here, I need to add a pretty hefty amount of money to get a recharge port added to it. So I want to, of course, fast charger. I don't want a slow charger. So 85 bucks added. Blade, well, it doesn't matter, but you have some choices here, so that's cool. I don't know why I need to pay $20 for a 40-inch blade. I think that is one of the options for free with Saberforge. Oh, there's no 40-inch. Okay. So for 3-inch more, you have to pay for literally 4 inches more longer blade. You need to pay $20 more. That is quite a bit. So we'll just go to standards. You see, there's in option 6 of 17. There's only a few options here. Like half of the options available here on Ultrasabers or on Saberforge. So there's a quite big difference there. In the meanwhile, let's also read some comments and then I'll continue with the website comparison. Thanks, Royston. I will check out the Dropbox link that you have sent me. Okay, here we go, guys. If I got a Trojan on my computer and or I get a scat video on my video. Okay, cool. It's not. We're safe. Whew. No animal porn video. It's all good. Okay, here we go. Awesome. No sound. Oh, there's sound. Ah, I love it. Doesn't that just look coming straight out of is from Starkiller, from the video game? To me it does. It just looks amazing with that weathering on it. There's something about that hilt design I really like. Royston did a fantastic installation on it. If you're not familiar with Royston, he actually runs a company as well, and he also do electronic installations. So if you guys want to know more about that, check him out. And what else we got? Actually, Royston has a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff. Okay, let me get back to this in a moment. Sorry, we got some more comments. So comments account said I love the Obsidian board. I didn't have to be honest, I didn't experienced the Australian soundboard my first hand yet, so I really want to try it out myself as well. Looking forward to that. Crossmack is adding that saber that you want, yeah, is indeed can't have the sound and is heavy as fuck. That's fine with me. I like heavy sabers. I do like my sabers to be in the 500 to 600 grams. It really feels the heft is really contributing to the overall feel for me. The lighter the saber, the flimsier it feels to me, which makes sense of course, but it also feels like I have less of a original Star Wars trilogy feel to it. I need to more like the original Star Wars trilogy kind of weight. Johnny says, also sorry I missed your 2 years anniversary live stream. No worries guys, no worries, it's all good. I was late with my 2 years anniversary video anyway, because I missed up that. I'm gonna get to you, Crusher Mac. I saw just your comment. Let me get back to you in a moment. Let me see what else we got. We got some more comments from you guys. JC says Saberforge has the best looking hilts by far, but the design doesn't translate to use. Some hilts are great, some hilts are comfortable to wield. That's true, and I think that also ties in because not every lightsaber should be used the same way for a Jedi or Sith. They like the wielder has a different style of wielding said lightsaber, so it would make sense. With Ultrasabers I feel like designs are very slim and they're very uniform, so they're almost all the same designs. Like some have claws, but the majority are very similar in designs. That is something that I miss from my Ultrasabers. But you have to, Johnny says, but you have to admit the Brute Guard is cool. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna get one and do a review on it. I definitely see myself blocking incoming lightsaber hits from friends, while having another saber one-handed in the other hand, trying to hit their thighs or lower body while I'm blocking. I think it's gonna be really cool. Next, Crush Mac, send me the links now in the chat. I will check it now live with you guys. I always say that I will check it, but I never do it for whatever reason. So send me the links. I will check it now with you guys live. So back to the options of Ultrasabers versus Saberforge, and I already got a good feeling about it. What you guys said. Most of you guys are more in the Saberforge park in this live stream now, but there will be more people joining over time probably that are more in the Ultrasabers park. But yeah, there's so many options with Ultrasabers that I feel that it's a little bit overwhelming. Like, I don't know why there are so many options. So you have the type of blade, so we just choose the length. Now we have the type of blades we can choose. We can Ultrasabers mid-grade, or an ultra edge mid-grade, or mid-grade, heavy grade, or ultra edge heavy grade. Now I will go for a heavy grade because let's say we want to duel with it. I have to add another 10 bucks to that. Saberforge can let you choose between, if you buy a warrior tier edition, that's just a stunt version, or champion tier or hero tier, there's a blade included in the price. So for now that is not too bad, right? It's all included, which basically increase the price from Saberforge. The starting price from Saberforge is higher from the start, but if you're gonna go to this Ultrasabers website, you will find yourself having to add another few bucks every time, and then the price is watered down. The lines are blurred. There's almost no difference in price anymore. So we just have to choose the light size. That's it. And we have a light whip option as well for 25 bucks, but I hardly see anybody choose that, and from what I've heard it's pretty shit as well, so better keep that money in the pocket and don't go for the light whip option. So let's see what other options. We have option 7 or 17, the pommel. Oh, there's only one option for the pommel. I can only choose high profile. Okay, interesting. But it is cool that you have maybe certain hilts and Ultrasabers you are allowed to have different pommel designs you can choose from. Saberforge, that's just part, the pommel is part of the design. So this is one piece of hilt. There's nothing about it. You you just buy into a Saberforge design. Saberforge designed it, you buy this entire saber as you see it. There's no flexibility to it. You just buy and you choose the finish. You choose it, weathered, standard, black, or all kinds of custom edit, etching, etc. That is something that I like about Saberforge. They have this touch of personalization, where Ultrasabers have that as well, but not in the finishes of the hilt. It's more on the pommels or emitters that you can choose. I rather go for something like this, where you can choose the powder coating and maybe an etching or weathering damaging or lightning damaging from Saberforge. I like that better over this kind of customization where you can just choose the pommel or emitter to be different. That is something I feel a little bit different there. So let's say quick connects. Okay, we can add quick connects. It's 15 bucks at Ultrasabers. With Saberforge, a quick connect costs you 10 bucks. So yeah, we want a quick connect so we can change the LED. Gives us a little bit of flexibility. So you can see the price here is already adding up quite high. I think this is 150 bucks with 260, so we're sitting in the same price range, more or less. Obsidian, and then why is it 10 bucks more for a newer version of soundboard, and why by default they set it to the Obsidian versus 3 soundboard? I never understood that. But everything you see here is about, oh, the features of the 3.4 soundboard. It's just a psychological part where you say, okay, I'm gonna add 10 bucks. I wanna have the latest soundboard. Nobody in the rightful mind gonna say, oh no, you know what? I'm gonna save myself 10 bucks and I'm gonna keep this V3. I don't know what's the difference, by the way, because all you see here is it's talk about the V4. That's kind of funny, right? But then again, it's a lot of flexibility. You can choose the old board or the new board. Saberforge does not have that, so that's kind of cool from Ultrasabers. But at the same time, I think, yeah, that is just a simple another 10 bucks ad, like no brainer. And again, a 10 buck ad. So it's all, everything is, it's a buck. It's a buck here, a buck there, and it feels a little bit scrummy to me. It does feel a little bit scrummy to me. Like, oh, this is 10 bucks more. Oh, for 5 bucks more, you have this. I don't know. And then, yeah, so many options for the button of the saber to switch it on or switch it off. That's pretty cool. I like that from Ultrasabers. For Saberforge, you don't have that. I give the upper hand to Ultrasabers, where you can actually choose what kind of color AV button you want. But with a champion tier, by default, you get a you already get a light up button. So I think let's say we went to for an Arctic blue LED. Let's say the button will be in a blue color as well. So in this case, you just have to add another 25 bucks to mimic what you get with Saberforge. So here another so a blue, black eliminated switch, a black eliminated black AV switch, $25. That's not cheap actually. That's quite expensive. Woo! See the price getting a little bit hot here in terms of price. And then we can choose round tip or pointed tip. With Saberforge, the pointed tip is included. So again, it's another 5 bucks for a pointed tip that you get included in this set. Either a warrior tier, champion tier, or a hero tier. Again, I give the upper hand to Saberforge for that because it's already there. I don't have to choose. Like, that is what you get. You get a pointed tip. Done. Easy. Allen Wren's included with your Saberforge warrior tier, champion tier, or hero tier. With Ultrasabers, you need another $1. And again, it's a buck extra. It's not about the money itself. It feels cheesy, like, oh, you want this, a buck. But you can see the amount of customization I can do on this Ultrasaber is just astounding. There's so many customization that when you purchase a saber, it's like you really feel like you're in control of the entire saber. You are basically building your own saber. That's how it feels. It feels a little bit like an ASP system, but with the ASP system, I feel I feel a little bit more like, yeah, I'm actually building the lightsaber. The individual parts I choose and mix max the saber. With Ultrasabers, I feel more as like a cheap marketing way of doing it. A blade pluck is included with Saberforge, but here, no, I need to pay another $6 or $9 for a blade pluck. I think this price is gonna. It's just gonna reach way beyond the Saberforge price now. Actually, think about it. This is 150 bucks. We're 360, 400. Well, no, okay, 410. This is 436. We're not. This is only on option 14 or 17. Is there any other cost involved here? Yeah, okay. The vibration, or let's say none, because Saberforge Ultrasabers does not have that. That's kind of cool as well. The vibration, if you guys never tried it, the vibration engine. I tried it from Saberforge and I tried it from the Pachstore / Wonderforce. It's really cool and really adds some unique feeling to the lightsaber when you turn it on or off. Let me also go to the comments. I see you guys already comment quite a bit. Okay, we're gonna check out Royston's ASP saber. Question Max said on Facebook, Texas Custom Sabers. I did check it out, dude, and I loved them. It's really cool. I want to get my hands on their thin neck saber, the Luke V3, basically, I believe, and it's dual worthy and it's really cool. I really want to get my hands on it. The Malice offers different pommels. Okay, cool. So different sabers might have different pommel designs that you can choose from. That's cool. Saber Source joined. Hey, how you doing? I'm looking forward to the Ashra lightsaber. Thanks for watching, by the way. I saw your latest video regarding the Sabertrio arc light. Really cool, really nice video. Well done. Sorry about that. No disrespect. I just had to burp coffee. Yeah, the discussion is about Ultrasabers versus Saberforge. So I want to know from you what you prefer and why do you prefer either Saberforge or Ultrasabers. So we got another link here, and this time the link is a little bit skewed because I think the chat screwed over. I think they marked this link as spam in the live chat. So we got another nice. Now this is one of the Sulphur City uprising stands, by the way, you guys. If you didn't know, I did a review on their awesome saber stands. Royston is owner of Sulphur City. Did I say that correctly? Sulphur City Sabers. And he makes these awesome uprising lightsaber stands. And oh, this is really cool. This is a mixed match of a Gladius with a Fury, and I don't recognize this pommel. I think this is an ASP pommel. I don't think they have it on one of the complete Saberforge sabers. This is pretty cool, actually. That's nice. Did you already build it? Or are you missing the dummy switch here? Do you have a video of it? Maybe I should check out your channel. That's really cool. Nice. Let me see. So we're almost there with the website as well. Saber Store says the arguments is also like airline company. Yeah, actually it can be applied for any type of discussion. Basically, it could be about phones, like do you like the new iPhone X versus the Android this, or I don't know. Not really onto the level of telephones technology anymore, but within this hobby, Ultrasabers and Saberforge always have been the biggest ones, and they're the giants still in the Saberforge saber industry and hobby, basically. That I'm just curious to see what are your preferences and why do you choose one brand over another, so we can have an actual meaningful discussion with each other without having to bash each other the neck in, or yes, I said it correct. Thanks, Royston. With sulfur, is it that means a sea salt lake, right? Like the ones they use in America to do the drag races on? Sulfur? Or sulfur, is that the powder that they use in the bombs during the Vietnam War that burned your skin up? I don't know. Okay. Okay, what is Sablus de Luz, Peru? Are they they're based in Peru or something? I don't know. Okay, let's see. That ain't right. Okay, nice. Okay, we got a link here. Gonna check it out as well while we're at it. Ooh, that looks nice. That looks sweet. Jeez, they're in Peru. Cool. Never heard of them, and I'm sorry I never looked at your link, but this looks really nice. I should definitely check them out. Let me get back to that in a bit, but that looks really cool. We're gonna do more of that in a bit, check them out further. And then Johnny says, oh, I prefer Ultrasabers because the amount of customization. I really feel like it's your saber. When I first got my Ultrasabers, I was stoked. I'm still really happy with it. Well, that's really cool. That is the power of Ultrasabers as well. Like Saberforge, I think especially with Ultrasabers that is more meaningful because you get a more basic hilt. So it really is a blank canvas for anybody to, you know, have their creativity going up into it. It's like getting a piece of paper and you gonna fill it out how it's gonna look like, and that I can definitely see the appeal from that from Ultrasabers. So let's go. We're almost through the options now. You even need to buy the recharge cable. Oh, that's just for the interface. That's another $5. Now let's say with the Saberforce Champion tier Sabercore 3.0, I believe you get a cable, so we need to add another cable as well. No bell clip because the bell clips are shit. As Saberforce, the cover tech wheel is already included. Here I need to pay another $14 to just get my cover tech wheel in there. So that's not cheap. That's not cheap. So yeah, I feel like there's a, you can see there's a whole list of customization I have done for my Ultrasabers, in this case Manticore. So I feel like I build a pretty cool lightsaber here. With the Saberforge, it's much simpler. You just click on a saber that you like in terms of design. You select the tier. You select, in this case, that's new since recently, the sound fonts. Something I could not see on the Ultrasaber saber. So does it mean that the Ultrasaber sabers come without a sound font pack, or is that included with Ultrasabers? I'm not sure. Please let me know in the comments. I'm not so familiar with that. And yeah. So you just add, the only thing where you have additional cost is if you want to have a hand done custom finish, so such as powder coating, etc. That is something that I really think is really cool. And then the vibration, that is part of the Sabercore 3.0's options for just a $25, which is a really cool feature to have actually. So yeah. Let me see. We go to some more comments. Royce said, "No, I live in a volcanic area." Okay, sorry. I thought sulfur is that. I thought it was like a combustion type of material. Sorry. Probably that has to do with the volcanic ashes or something. I don't know. Sabersource, install quality of Saberforge is crap. That's true. Ultrasabers, in my opinion, is just as crap. So from that point of view, I think they're both and not very fantastic. But still, some people in this chat might have different preferences. They say, I prefer the installation of the electronics from Ultrasabers over Saberforge for this and that reason. Just let me know. Sabersource also says, I got burned. Some of my friends are burnt. I got burnt as well. Saberforge sabers literally can run very hot, especially after red LEDs. Sometimes you can almost bake an egg on them. It's like really hot on the outside of the hilt. That is something that Quad-Crees have. Ultrasabers is using either 6 watt or Tri-Cree LEDs, which does not run that hot and are much more efficient for battery consumption. For example, this saber has a Tri-Cree as well. I much more prefer Tri-Crees over Quad-Cree LEDs. The only Quad-Cree LED I prefer is the deep red LED. For that, Quad-Cree is the best. Tri-Cree is not good for deep red because just the brightness. George saying, I really dislike Ultrasabers lower end sabers. They they don't even look like lightsabers. So we go back to the lightsabers from Ultrasabers, the lower end ones. And I do agree with you, George. I do agree from that point. I just do not think they look very good as well. Yeah, they just, in my personal opinion, they look nothing like a lightsaber. I look at it, I really try, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, but they look cool. But if I really look in it deep in my heart, I don't see this as a lightsaber. I would not recognize this as a lightsaber. It's my personal opinion. I do see it as a functional device that mimics a lightsaber, especially with the blade in there. I can see the lightsaber. This is the overall picture is a lightsaber. But if I just look at the hilt, it doesn't feel like it's coming directly out of a Star Wars movie or cartoon. It just doesn't look to it. But I see it as a lightsaber that is functional in the real human world, where I actually can do spinning and dueling with it and make it a functional lightsaber in this very world. So from that point of view, I do feel these simple designs fit their purpose. But for cosplay, for roleplay, I don't think these look like a lightsaber. I wouldn't pick them up and say, okay, I'm a Sith, this is my Sith weapon. I don't feel like that. But then again, maybe we have some viewers here that maybe they're either students, or they don't want to spend too much, or maybe they're not able to spend too much at the time, and this is all they can afford. And this in this case, I mean, then you also have to give it some slack and say, yeah, I mean, it's not always just the hilt design, of course. It's also the hobby in general. It mimics a lightsaber. It becomes a lightsaber. If this becomes a lightsaber for you, it becomes a lightsaber for you. When I was a kid, I used toilet paper and I don't know, a metal pipe, and that was my lightsaber. To me, it was a real lightsaber. And imagination makes everything up. So yes, it might be physically a little bit underwhelming, but with all the fantasy, it can be really something. And from that point of view, I also cannot hate too much on it, because I know Ultrasabers is helping a lot of people with lightsabers that cannot or don't want to spend too much money on them and still want to enjoy the hobby. And I'm not gonna knock them and say, oh, it doesn't look like a lightsaber, it's just $40 US. No, you need to buy a $500, $600 US lightsaber, because otherwise it's inferior. That is also not the idea of this hobby, I think. Johnny has to go. Take care, man. See you next time. Sabersource is saying, for US, I like it for beginners, reliability as well. US blades I like as opposed to Saberforge. I just recommend Ultrasabers for stunt configs. For sound, I'd rather install it myself. Now that is something that you have for both Saberforge and Ultrasabers, and that's an argument we hear a lot. They say just buy the empty hilt and do the electronics yourself. A lot of people actually cannot do that. A lot of people are not able or capable to install electronics themselves. They don't have the tools, they don't have the know-how, they don't have the skill sets. Like, I don't have the skill sets to do it properly. I do it at times, but I'm far from good at it. And I don't want to waste $200 in materials, let's say, including a nano biscotti, a 3D printed chassis, trying to get it to work. Like, I mess things up, and it's just a waste of my money. So often I resort to a out-of-the-box experience from either Saberforge, Ultrasabers, Vader or whatnot, because I rely on them to do it for me, because I just simply don't have the time, patience, and skill set for it, plus tools. So that is my argument as well, to say, okay, the champion tier or soundboard tiers are not the best, but there's so many more people that cannot do electronics installs themselves, and there's not nearly enough custom sabers installers out there that are skilled and actually advertising and working as installers. There's just a handful installers on there, and of those handful installers out there in the wild, there's only a smaller handful that are actually skilled in doing it. So they have long waiting lists, or they have a certain amount of money they charge for the labor and whatnot. So you need to buy an empty, send it to a Saber installer, and get it back, and it's a lot of hassle. And I can see why people buy just a complete saber from either Ultrasabers or Saberforge, because they just want to have the lightsaber. They don't want to have the wait for another 2-3 months for a commission or whatnot, and I totally understand that. And there were some more comments from Royston. He said, yes, I'm partly disassembled the ASP Gladius. Here's a quick video of the first install. Cool, I will check the video in a bit. And then he said, over here in New Zealand, we have a really low custom limits for import tax and duties. So it usually makes sense to import a cheaper empty hilt and install locally. Yeah, that's true. That's true. In Hong Kong, we don't have any import fees, to be honest, as well. We don't have to pay anything. So if I buy a lightsaber from Saberforge or Vader's Vault, for example, luckily I don't get charged with any import fees. And sometimes I look at my friends in Europe or in the US. US is domestically, so it doesn't matter for most buyers, because most of the viewers and custom lightsaber fans are basically based in the US, so they don't have that issue. But if you're in Europe, you get hefty import tax costs. It's a really expensive hobby for anybody outside the US. Like, if you think you're within the US and you think this is an expensive hobby, then you know nothing, Jon Snow, because for anybody outside of the US, it's really expensive. We have shipping costs, which are ridiculous expensive, and then we have the import fees. Well, I don't have them, but most countries have them. It's just a very expensive hobby, and we basically can buy one lightsaber, and you guys can maybe buy 2 or 3 for the same price. Costs spent. Royston says, it's a shame Vader's Vault or Sabertrio don't sell empty hilts. Yeah, yes and no. They just want to manage their reputation by providing those services. They want to completely be in control of what kind of quality you receive, because with these empty hills, sometimes, like for example, an empty hills from Saberforge or Ultrasabers will go to a butcher that install electronics for $5 and a Mountain Dew. They install it for you, they resell it, you buy a lightsaber, you think it's straight up from Saberforge, and you start to piss on it because it's installed with cotton and I don't know, duct tape, and just horrible installations. We've seen the pictures on many Facebook groups ourselves, so we know it's out there, and it does happen. And then the reputation of said saber companies get also tarnished because people think this is a genuine product of said saber company. So that's a kind of dangerous for them as well, I guess. Royston says that my group has purchased close to 40 Saberforge sabers who had not any electronic issues yet. So far, mostly I bought stunt sabers just because saving money. And for me, in most cases, the stunt sabers always have been fine. Not a single issue with the electronics itself. The hilts, most of the time, yes, I do have issues, but the electronics themselves, they just do their purpose. Simple stunt setups. Saberforce, I feel like they master the stunt setups pretty well. I also have owned so far now 2 champion tier Viridian soundboards. They both have the same issues. They still work, but they're pretty shit, in my personal opinion. There were some more comments. George, it depends on the customization, but commissions can run as low as $100 for the install and parts. There are soundboards from China that are dirt cheap. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can make it really cheap with these really basic soundboards. I have to say, I really fell in love with my Sabertrio that is supporting the Pico Crumble. I think that's actually a surprisingly nice little soundboard. It's actually not bad. It's very basic, few swings, few clashes, that's it. But with the RGB that you can manipulate from the button on the fly, you can put it on mute. It's actually very intuitive. I really enjoy it. It's so much easier compared to Nano Biscotti version 4. I'm not sure, quote me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I can actually change the colors on the Nano Biscotti version 4 from buttons. I need to do it from the configuration file, which is kinda shit in this time and age, that you have to change your RGB colors if you have an RGB LED from the sound font, from the what is it, editor files on the Nano Biscotti version 4. I might be wrong. Maybe you guys say no, you can do it on the fly as well with buttons if you wire up the buttons like an aux button and a primary button. I'm not sure, but I believe it's the case that you cannot do that with the Nano Biscotti version 4. No, so it is actually a quite nice conversation that we have here with you guys. We have 7 watchers now, so I'm happy with that. I like the division between you guys, that you have different ideas about Ultrasabers versus Saberforge and which one you like, and I think that that really shows that there is an actual division about ideas and reasoning to buy lightsabers from said companies. And for some people it's an absolute no-brainer, they go for aesthetics, including myself, and for some people they go for Ultrasabers for said simplicity. They see this as a platform to modify it to their own needs. They like the quality, they like the hilt lengths and sizes. So it's a really interesting division there. Sabersource said Nano Biscotti can change colors per sound font. Yeah, that's cool, but can you do it on the fly like a Crystal Shard 3.0 or 4.0? You hold the main button and you hold the X button, for example, on the Vader's Vault, and you toggle between the RGB colors. Or with the Pico Crimbo, you boot up the soundboard into this menu and then you toggle between the RGB colors, select the color, save it, and then you boot up the saber in said sound font. I don't know if that can be done with the Nano Biscotti version 4, or if you really only can change the colors of the blade in the config file. Every time you want to change that, you need to go into the config file, load up a sound font, change it to, for example, red, blue, green, and do that per sound font, because that would kind of be annoying. Royce says, oh, you can... No, you cannot change on the fly. Okay, that is something really silly to me, that cannot be done on the Nano Biscotti version 4. It can be done in the Crystal Shard 4.0 and the 3.0. I don't know why the Nano Biscotti cannot do that, because the Nano Biscotti is in the middle. So you have the Pico Crumble, as all from Plector's Lab. You can do it on the fly from the sound board. Then you have the Nano Biscotti version 4 where you cannot do it, only in the config file, which is to me really shit. And then you have the Crystal Shard 4.0 where you can do it on the fly, and I believe the Crystal Focus as well. So I don't know why Plector Labs choose that way to do that with the RGB colors, but to me it's a pain, because you sometimes you have one sound font you really like, but sometimes you want to have it with a blue blade or with a green blade. Whatever the case is, maybe different flash and class color, you need to load the same sound font on a different sound bank with a different blade color configuration. That's really silly to me. That's kind of annoying. Royson says, I'm waiting for the new Saber Wave soundboards coming out from Summer Chambers. Chatting with Lewis, they're not too far away. I'll flick you a fit once I wire one. Oh, that would be cool. I'm in touch with Lewis as well, because I'm gonna review the upcoming new sabers. I went ahead and got myself the new sabers, because I last time I got the 7 chambers vestures, and I was really impressed with the quality of the hilt, and it's a really nice hilt. It really turned out really beautiful. The review will be up soon, But I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to get the other sabers as well. And as you said, yeah, I'm really happy and looking forward to the 7 chambers updated soundboard. I think that will be a nice new contestant in the market. Yeah, thanks for Saberforge. Yeah, I know. Thanks for explaining that. I still think it's really silly. I don't know why the Nanobiscotti, if the entire Plectrolab tree family of soundboards can have that change in color on the fly in one way or another, but not the Nanobiscotti version 4. I think it's really silly. I think it's, yeah, I know, it's just stupid. It's one of the most popular widespreaded soundboards they have, and all of the other soundboards have it. Even the cheapest, the Pico Crumble has it. It's their own brand, it's their own soundboard, and the Pico Crumble can do it. It's just silly to me. I actually appreciated that you guys tuned in today and had this discussion together, because I really like to have these kinds of discussions. I'm gonna do it more often, because having my opinions and my reasoning behind why I like something or not is one, but having that interaction with you guys and see your reasoning and basically being open-minded, and I can change my mind and say, okay, I see your points and your points are making sense. That is something I really enjoy, and it makes it also much more fun to together discuss things openly. And I think that that is something that the hobby needs, because what happens if you open a discussion, for example Facebook or something like that, you have to wait for comments, and it's just a different pacing, and people place the feedback, their comments they have in a different way. I feel like it's more impersonal, and here we actually have human interaction between you and me and us, and amongst each other live in a chat, which you can have quick follow-up conversations, which is more convenient to myself in terms of, the conversation is much more interesting. It's much more engaging than something on the Facebook page. You post something, you wait 5-10 minutes, somebody replies, you reply, that person doesn't appear to reply for another hour or day, and then you reply again, and then the whole conversation is already shattered, and it lost its momentum basically. So that was really cool. I appreciate you guys watched. I'm gonna wrap it up. I think we had enough of the conversation today. I think it was a really nice one. Was that? Oh yeah, they also have the Prism, right? Yeah, is it Prism not from NAC? I mixed up. Is that, wait, is the Prism not NSC? I think I don't know anymore. My mind is blurred and it's just scrambled. It's time to go do bed. Thanks, Royston. Have a great night. Thanks for everybody who's watching on live now, and I really appreciate it again. Hopefully see you next video. This weekend we have a whole bunch of new videos live, of course, and throughout the week I will make some videos. Now, if you're into gaming, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game is almost out for release. I will get it. I will not buy into the pre-released because I don't want to support EA from that point of view. This is just a principle thing for me. After Star Wars The Old Republic, I got a little bit sour in my mouth from them. So I'm gonna get the game and I'm gonna play through it and do it live with you guys. Hopefully you guys get the game as well on the PC so we can play together. That would be awesome. I will not forget to check it out. I will not sorry, Crush Mac, I will not forget. Anyway, that's it guys. More about that Star Wars gaming news comes later, probably tomorrow or the next day, but I'm gonna hit the deck. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video. If you watch this video after it was live and you watched it offline, just keep continuing the conversation in the chat, or in the comment section of this video, so we can still have some sort of interactive discussion further. Don't be shy to say you like Ultrasabers or Saberforge, and the reasoning behind it is really important. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I have to have a good one. I need to figure out how to end this stream. Ah, nice. Bye bye.